everyone. I hope you all are doing well and making the best use of your time. So today we are going to talk about modal verbs. I have divided this topic into two videos. So the first one is this and the second part will be released very soon. So now without further waste of time, let's get into the video. Now let's have a look at these sentences. Now I am talking here about a girl, right? So I want to say that she can make a cup of tea. Fine. Now suppose if the guests are at her home. So what will I say to her? That she should make a cup of tea, right? And suppose she agrees. Then what will I say? That she will make a cup of tea. Fine. Now if you look closely at these sentences, you will notice that I have changed only a single word. That is can, should and will, right? Now by changing just a single word like can, should and will, the whole meaning of the sentence transforms. We will understand it better. She can make a cup of tea. Now when I say this sentence, I want to emphasize on the fact that she is able to make a cup of tea. Fine. So I want to emphasize on her capability. She can do it. The next one is she should make a cup of tea. That means I am advising her because the guests are at your home. That is why you should make a cup of tea. And the last one is she will make a cup of tea. That means I want to show that definitely she is going to do this task, right? So she will definitely make a cup of tea. I want to show her willingness. So these words reflect the speaker's manner or mode of speaking, right? So now these words told you what my intention was while I was saying these sentences. So that is why these words reflect the speaker's manner or mode of speaking, or in simple words, the intention or the mood of the speaker. Now what do we call these words in English grammar? So today we are going to study about these. And these words are known as modal verbs or simply modals. Fine. So what are these? Let's see. Modals are special verbs which reflect the speaker's manner or mode of speaking, like I just told you. So what are these actually? Which part of speech? Verbs, right? Which tell you something about the action or which shows you some position. Now what are these words actually? So can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to, need to, have to. All these words come under the category of modal verbs. Now these verbs express ideas such as ability, possibility, probability, duty, obligation or permission, like we saw in examples. Now what are these actually? So these are auxiliary verbs. Now we have to understand what are auxiliary verbs. So these are the verbs which assist main verbs. In simple terms, we can remember them as helping verbs because they help the verbs. And now which verb? Auxiliary verbs help the main verbs. Fine. Now what are main verbs? So the main verbs are the verbs which actually show what the action is. Example, think, play, go, catch. We will understand it with the help of an example. I am writing a letter for my mother. Now which word is telling you about the actual action? I am writing a letter for my mother. What is the action? Writing. So your writing will be the main verb used in this sentence. Now can you see this word am written before writing? Now what if I write this sentence like this? I writing a letter. Is it making any sense? No? So I have to use am, right, to make a complete sense. I am writing a letter for my mother. Now this sentence looks good. So am here is the helping verb which is helping your main verb to convey a complete sense. So that is why am will be your auxiliary verb or helping verb and writing will be your main verb because it is actually telling you about the action. So we have more examples of auxiliary verbs, that is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, do, did, will, shall, may, etc. And all the modal verbs are also included in this auxiliary verbs. Okay, so now modal verbs are also termed as defective verbs. Why defective verbs? Because they do not change their form according to the gender and number of the subject. That means you don't have to add anything with these words like can, could, will, would, shall, should. You have to use as they are in a sentence. So take for example the main verb play, right? So we have a verb play. Now we can add es with play if our subject is singular, like she plays. We cannot say she play because our she is singular, so we have to add s with our verb. Then we can add ing also for using the word play in continuous tense, so it becomes playing. She is playing. Then we can add ed also, and the word becomes played for denoting past tense or perfect tense. But can you add es, ing, ed with modals? No, not at all. Okay, think about adding es, ing and ed with shall. Shall is, shelling, shalled. Have you heard of these words? No, not at all. So in Crux, the modals are used as they are. We cannot change, we cannot add anything to them, right? So they do not change their form. Okay, so now a modal is never used alone. It is always followed by a main verb. Let's see this with the help of an example. You should think about it. Now, I told you earlier also about auxiliary verbs. So modal is your auxiliary verb. Now modals always require a main verb to give a complete sense. Now let's read another feature of modal verbs. Let's read some examples. We should try to help others. He may reach here anytime. You can take these notebooks. Now let us emphasize on our verbs used in these sentences. So in the first sentence, the verb is try. The second, reach. The third, take in bold letters. Okay. So now, do you notice that all the main verbs used in these sentences are in their first form? Try, reach, take. The second form is take is took, reach, reached, try, tried. So that means I have to use the first form of the verb after using a modal verb. The first point was that I have to use a main verb. The second thing is that it should always be in the first form, right? Now there is an exception to this rule also, and what is this? If you add be or have after a modal verb, then the main verb can have different forms. Now if you want to make any change in the forms of the main verb, what you have to do is you have to add be or have after using the modal verb, like she may be dancing. Now here the modal is may. But after adding be, I can make any change in my main verb. Like I have added ing with the verb dance. The second is the students should have learnt their lesson. Now the modal is should. But after adding have, I can make any change in my main verb learn. The main verb in this sentence here is learn. So it becomes learnt, because I am using the third form of the verb here. Now let's talk about the negative forms of modals. So the modals can also have their negative forms. For example, can't, that is a contraction of cannot. So I have written the contractions here and the full form is written in the brackets. So we can use the negative forms as well. Today we are going to talk about the modal may. Now where is may used? So may is used for permission, possibility and wish. How? We will see this with the help of an example. May I go to play tennis? Now may is always used for asking formal permission. Like if you want to ask something from your teacher, so you are going to use this verb may, modal. May I go to play tennis? So this is used for asking formal permission. Now if you want to grant a permission, then you will say yes, you may go now and play tennis. Okay. The next one is I think he may be in the class. Now here I am making a guess. I'm not sure whether he is there in the class or not, but I am just assuming, or I am just giving a probability that maybe he is in the class. So we use may for possibility also. You may be right. So you may be right that he may be in the class. So that means I am not sure whether you are right or wrong, but maybe you are right. May God bless you. Now for giving blessing to a person or for wishing, we use this may. May God bless you. May you succeed. Then we have a modal can. Now where is can used? It is used to denote capability or informal permission or a possibility. Let's see this with the help of an example. She can play a guitar. Now here I want to emphasize on the fact of her ability. I want to say that yes, she can play a guitar. So I am emphasizing on her capability. The next one is I can drive a car. So that means yes, I am capable of driving a car. Can I take your pen? So here I am asking someone. Can is used for informal permission. Informal means when I am talking to my friend, I want to have his pen. So I will not say may I take your pen, because may is used for taking formal permissions. But for informal or casual permissions, we can use can in our day-to-day conversation. Can I take your pen? Yes, you can take my pen. So this is used for granting informal permission. Yes, you can do it. Now if you want to reject any permission, so which modal verb are you going to use? You are going to use the modal verb can only. You cannot use may for rejecting the permission. No, you cannot take my pen, right? Now I can't say that you may not take my pen. No, you cannot take my pen. The next one we have is possibility. Now I would call it capability combined with possibility. Like, she can come to my house tomorrow. So I am not sure whether she is going to come or not, but I am assuming that maybe she can come to my house tomorrow. The next one we have is could. So this is simply the past of can. Fine. Can, could. So this denotes past ability, polite request, permission, reported speech, and probability in the past. Let's see how with the help of some examples. So the first one is I could fly kites when I was young. Now in this sentence, I am telling you about my past ability, that when I was young, what could I do? I could fly kites. Next is she could solve all the sums. Now I am talking about this girl who had the capability of solving all the sums in the past. So that is why I have used could. The next one is, could you please switch off the fan? Now if I want to make a polite request to a person, I want to be very polite. So I will use the modal verb could. Could you please do that for me? Could you please switch off the fan? Could I talk to you again? So this is kind of polite request. The next one is, you could go and take your notebook. Now I am giving permission to a person. Okay, I'm okay. You could go and take your notebook from the staff room. Fine. So for giving permission also, I can use the modal verb could. The next one is, she said that he could not try. Now this is a reported speech, right? So she said that. So this our reporting verb said is in past tense. So that is why I have to change everything. So can will change into could. And she said that she could not try, because I am talking about the past. She said that she could not try at that time. The next one is, he asked me if she could help him. Now again, this is a reported speech. The last one is, if I had the money, I could buy that building. Now this is a probability. Probability, I am not sure about this, but if I had the money, then I could buy that building. So for probability also, we use the verb could, modal verb could. Now I hope you all liked the video. I would cover the other models in the next video in the series. For any suggestions or queries, you can message in the comment section below. Also consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified about the latest updates. Thank you everyone.